Welcome back, everybody, to Red Devil FM YouTube. Today, we're going to be starting a new rebuild, which will be the RB Leipzig rebuild, where the aim is to turn them into the dominant force in Germany and also in Europe, and kind of knock Bayern Munich off the pedestal, as they have definitely been dominant in Germany for a very, very long time. There are going to be a couple of like rules to such with the rebuild. So we can only sign one player over the age of 23 a season. Everyone else needs to be either 23 or under. But it fits perfectly with Leipzig because they have their own like requirements or things that they favour, which is signing players under the age of 21 for the first team squad. And if you haven't, go and watch the previous rebuild that I did of Real Madrid, which finished recently. It was a very successful and quite enjoyable for me to play through rebuild. So let's have a quick look then at what our team is going to be. So this is an overview of RB Leipzig. So they have not won anything since 2013. I don't think they've ever actually won the Bundesliga. No, they haven't. They've not won anything really. So we will be an absolute club legend if we pull off this rebuild. They were founded only in 2009, got rich finances. Stadium's 47,000, it's not the biggest, but especially when you compare it to top teams in Europe, but it's still a decent size. Got 17 mil. I did forget to say as well that we're going to be starting earlier than normal. So I found out that if you've got the Brazilian League open, you can actually start at the end of 2020 in December. So you actually have 6 months before the season starts of where you can sort of develop the familiarity with your tactics, which is really helpful. Play a lot of friendlies. You also get an extra transfer window as well. So this is apparently our best 11, which is a 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder. Quite surprised there because we are missing a couple of players who will be definitely starting a lot more games for me, like Mariba. Um, there's a young centre back slash left back. I can't remember his name now. I can't remember how you pronounce it either. But he's also missing off there. And Dominic, again, very strange surname, so I'm not going to try and pronounce that. This is the club culture. So they want high tempo pressing football, attacking football. Don't sign anyone over the age of 28. Sign players under the age of 21 for the first team. Now, they're all pretty much what I do anyway, so perfect for us. They want us to get in the top four of the Bundesliga and try and get to the semi-final of the cup. Now, top four is pretty much what I'm aiming for. I'm not expecting to be winning the league in the first season. Maybe next season when we've brought in a couple of our own players and started to develop some of the youth here. So this rebuild as well, it's going to be different to the Real Madrid one I did, where that one there was quite a few episodes per season, whereas this one I'm looking to do maybe 3, 4 a season. Um, More like recaps of what we've done, how we've been doing, and what we want to achieve by the end of the season or transfer windows, so stuff like that. This is going to be sort of our main tactic that we're going to use, which on a game save with Dortmund I trialed, and it's basically very strong through the middle. Your wide players come from your wing backs. I'm using a complete wing back here though because we've got Angelino, who is a very attack minded fullback. But it wasn't too bad, to be fair, once like they got familiar with it. We will be pressing high up the pitch, trying to win the ball back. And then the aim is you've got dangerous players then in. You've straight away got two up top. Shadow Striker becomes basically a third guy. And then these are set to stay wide. So they attack sort of down the side of the defence, and then we've got that one midfielder who just sits and tries to prevent like counter attacks. The more defensive one is where we play a diamond with the defensive midfielder sitting here. Pretty much the same thing, but he's actually going to start further back anyway. And obviously we don't press as high with this formation and drop the defensive line a little bit. So if we have a look at our best 11 in our normal formation, it will look something like this. Personally, I'd probably play Olmo in that false 9, just because I know that he's better in that position, as I used him on the Real Madrid rebuild that was the previous series. And then he could be replaced then by who've we got? Dominic. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. And Kunku is also another player that's going to get a lot of game time. And to be fair, I don't know whether I'd use Mukiele at centre back or not. But this is the other centre back that I want to play a lot because he develops into a top player. He can also play where Angelino is, but I think I'd prefer him at centre back, to be honest. So overall, not really the worst team to be starting off with. Need to have a look really at where our positions need depth or can be improved on. But Danny Olmo's obviously half start at the moment, but that's because I haven't really started training him to play that false 9 role. But yeah, good starting point, and we will come back when the season actually starts and see how we've been getting on in pre-season. Well, here we are after the first transfer window of the season. We've played 3 games of the league just because I wanted to get that transfer window out of the way. And what we're going to do, we're going to go and have a look at what transfers we've done since we started. So we go to transfer history. Obviously, all the way down to Caden Clark, it were already done for us. So in that January transfer window before the season started, we brought in 2 players, sorry. We brought in Pablo Torre for 1 million, youth prospect, already pretty much first team level or not far off. Values shot up to 17.5, 22 million as well. Going to be a very good player as long as we can hold on to him and develop him properly. But we also have raided Salzburg and brought in Karim Adeyemi for 15.25 million. Signed him on my last rebuild for Real Madrid, and he turned into a top player. I'm hoping he does the exact same for Leipzig here. 15 million is a bargain when you look at his actual stats, or his attributes, sorry, and he's already worth 50 to 76. So definitely one that's going to be a key player for us. The other player from Salzburg was Nicholas Seiwald, I think his name is. Bit more of a defensive-minded central midfielder, but again, worth 27 to 36 now. We got him for 15. And he's had a good start to his career so far. And then we brought in another youth prospect, Alejandro Francis. He's got a release clause of 3.5 million. We have loaned him back out though to Zaragoza so we can get game time and continue to develop. But again, we're not going to see him for at least a season, maybe 2. And then the last signing was a new keeper in Alban Lafont, only 22, got bags of potential, and he's pretty much competing for the starting spot in goal. I think he has actually played all 3 games so far, and he's had 2 clean sheets. But the one game where I think we drew, which was first game of the season, he let in some bad goals. On the outs, we sold a couple, I think. So yeah, we had 2 like youth players go out for a little bit of money, but we sold Marshall Halstenberg to West Ham. Probably shouldn't have. Now I look back, because he was our second left back and we don't actually have really another left back. But I kind of weren't paying attention when the bid come in, and I was like, oh, he's 29, just get rid of him. But I do kind of regret it. We'll have a quick look at the fixtures. So as you can see, we played a lot of friendlies, because when you start the game December in 2020, there's no fixtures in the game for you to play until the season starts in June. So we pretty much just played top teams around Europe and some minnows. And as you can see, we were very, very good in our friendlies, winning pretty much every game apart from 1-1 draw against Barca and Liverpool. But we beat some good teams. So Dortmund 6-3, Chelsea 2-1, Bayern Munich 3-1, Real Madrid 3-0, Leverkusen 5-1. But friendlies obviously don't mean a lot because intensity is not really there. And then start of the season, we won our first game, competitive game, in the German Cup against the Minnow 2-1. It wasn't the best of games, but it was just, I was happy to have just got the result and moved on. Then we went away to Mainz, got 2-2 draw. It was just an action-packed game. We'd scored, then they had some chances, they equalised, then we had chances again. And I think in the end, the 2-2 draw was pretty even, pretty fair. And then obviously we've gone and beat Stuttgart 3-0 at home, and we've just won 1-0 away at Wolfsburg. So we did settle for the tactic of this very, very narrow tactic with the 3 in central midfield, and then you have like kind of 3 up top with Nkunku playing as that shadow striker. Adeyemi does drop though as a false 9, but because he's got such pace, the amount of times where like Angelino will get up here, Adeyemi's dropped, but then he makes that run in behind and Angelino finds him a lot. Dominic's been world class. I think he's got a couple of assists here, 2 assists, 1 goal. Definitely one of our key players. And then I have done a little bit of tweaking with people's positions. So Tyler Adams, he's a central midfielder, but he's got very good attributes to play as a wing back. So that's what he's currently being retrained to. And then obviously Olmo, even though he's there at the moment because of a couple of injuries, he's also been trained to play as a false 9. But yeah, I think the aim for this first season is going to be get into the Champions League qualification, which I think is top 3, and maybe try and win the cup. But the main thing is getting into Champions League football again next season. We have had our draw as well for the Champions League, and it's not the easiest with Villarreal, Man United, and Olympiacos, but I fancy our chances of progressing. And the Champions League, it's just get as far as you can, get as much money. Because ideally, I want to keep our finances in tip-top shape, so we can continue to build on the team that we've got, which I think is quite a good team. It's also a very young team, but the key thing now will be keeping the core of it and not selling anyone. So we're going to fast forward to the January transfer window for a catch up next. Okay, here we are, February. We've done the January transfer window. Have a look at transfers. I don't think we actually brought anybody in. Let's have a quick look. So no one in. I know we had somebody go out because Forsberg didn't want to play for us no longer. So we got rid of him to Tottenham for 17.75 million. To be honest, he hadn't done a bad job when he played for us. A lot of his games were off the bench, but not exactly a big loss. The key thing was keeping a lot of our main players, because all of our players like Mukiele was wanted by Madrid. He's got a 40 million transfer clause. Who was the other one? Danny Olmo was wanted by Newcastle. He's got a clause of 69 million, but Newcastle only offered 60. Silva's also wanted. Poulsen was another one I think that Bayern Munich came in for. Poulsen has been absolutely unreal. He's got 18 goals in 17 games in the league. Absolutely incredible numbers. Speaking of the league, this is how it's looking so far. So just past the halfway stage, we're sitting in third, 17 points clear of fourth. So I think we're pretty much guaranteed for the top three. We're joint on points with Dortmund, but we're still 5 points behind Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are yet to lose a game. They've drawn two, which were against Dortmund and ourselves. But we've dropped 3 points by losing away at Cologne. And we've drew to Freiburg, Bayern Munich and Mainz. We actually beat Dortmund, which was a 4-1 home win. Just have a quick look at the schedule. See how the results have been so far. So as you can see, we've been in tremendous form recently. We're also through to the knockout stages, the Champions League, after we won all 6 of our games in the Champions League, beating Man United twice. Let's just see if I can find those games. So yeah, we beat him 5-3 at Old Trafford. Late surge to win that. And I think, did we play them in the first game? Yeah, 4-2 at home. Ronaldo getting a double, and Nkunku getting a double for us. And yeah, I'd say I'm happy with how this rebuild's going so far. We're in the next round of the DFB Pokal, which is a quarter final. I do think that Bayern and that are still in this. So yeah, Bayern Munich are still in, and Dortmund. So it's still going to be tough to win. But I mean, if we can get that ticked off, and then next season it'll just be about not rebuilding, but keeping what we've got and improving on it. Because we've got a very good core squad at the moment. We've just got to add depth to it. But yeah, we will fast forward now to the end of the season, see how we got on.
Right, well, here we are, end of the first season. As you can see, we got third place. We were 9 points off by Munich in the end, who had an absolutely incredible um, season. I think they lost one game. Oh no, two in the end. So they lost. Yeah, that was it. They lost the last game of the season to Wolfsburg, but they did lose also to Freiburg. Very, very tough to get sort of any results against Bayern Munich. I think they beat us when we went to their ground. Dortmund as well. But I think overall we didn't have a bad season, especially in the Bundesliga. Lost 3 games, which were all away games. The Cologne one was a little bit disappointing, whereas the Dortmund and Bayern Munich ones, they were kind of to be expected. But we did get a draw against Bayern Munich at home. which was 1-1, and we also beat Dortmund at home 4-1. Dortmund only lost 2 games as well. So far so good, but we were also in the final of the German Cup where we played Bayern Munich. So we're just going to see how we got on there. So as you can see, we beat Bayern Munich 1-0, and these were the highlights. So Amy, 30 minutes in, had a great chance, didn't take it. We actually played really well. They scored a goal, but it was offside. Clearly, I don't think it's going to show you the breakdown though. Right, Mukiele gets there. Dominic Nkunku. Amy has another chance, but he just misses the goal. And 76th minute, we work the ball well, but Lafont gives it away. Fortunately, Lewandowski misses and is offside anyway. But then this was the one from the corner. Nianzou to Sul. He gives it away to Mukiele. I was screaming here for him to pass it. He eventually does. Paulson's through, and Paulson gets the winning goal in the 87th minute. And he caps off a sensational season for us. Speaking about Paulson here, I'm just going to have a quick look at his stats. And he's worth 86 to 93 million now, which I think is incredible. But just look at them stats. 27 goals in 29 appearances in the league, 9 assists, 33 in 35 starts, and 9 substitute appearances throughout the season. Absolutely incredible. He's actually broken the record for the most goals for the club as well, which I think was 85, and he's got 87 now. But we'll have a look at the schedule. So as you can see, a lot of wins. We also got through to the quarterfinal of the Champions Cup. We managed to get past Real Madrid, drawing 1-1 at the Bernabeu and then beating them 4-0 at home, which was an incredible result. But then we come up against City, and City really were a gulf above us. We lost 3-0 here, but we did have some early chances. But as soon as they got that first goal, we kind of fell apart a little bit. And then at home, we just lost 1-0. We were the better team at home. Just City were too good for us, basically. And obviously, we won the German Cup, which is a big success for us, as that was something that I wanted to look at doing. And then next season, we want to look at getting into the Champions League again, getting through to the knockout stages, and possibly, well, we want to get closer to challenging Bayern, but the board aren't really too fussed. We didn't make no more transfers, and don't think we had anyone else go out. No, so we have got a regen from Malaga, 950k, left back. He had 5-star potential. Looks a good player already. We did need another left back because when Angelino's injured, all we've kind of got is Gavardio, who is one of my main centre backs as well. So he just seemed a no-brainer for such a cheap price, and the fact that he's 5-star potential. For that money, you can't really moan if he doesn't work out. We do have a lot of money left though. We've got 62 million to spend this season. I'm not just going to sign players for the sake of it. I either want to improve what I've currently got or sign good quality depth or youth. But yeah, so a good season for the first season. Did better than what I expected, winning the German Cup and getting through to the quarterfinal Champions League. Next season, just look at improving the squad depth because I think our starting 11 is very strong, especially in midfield. And we probably need to improve on the defence because I think that's where our weakest links are. Probably a solid right back. But these were the player stats as well. So as you can see, Paulson got 33. Nkunku got 15 assists. 13 assists in the league, 10 goals in 32 games. 15 and 15 in 37 and 10 subs. Very, very good player. I watch him a lot in real life and I think he's a fantastic player. And I really do hope he comes to the Prem next year. Who else? So Orban best pass, most man of the matches use of Paulson, really showing how good of a player he's been for us this season. And Seiwald still got a lot of development in him. He's currently 3-star, potential's 5, so he's still got more improvement in him. He's had an alright season. Obviously, he plays a defensive mid role, so he's not going to be getting goals and assists. But I think I do notice the difference when he doesn't play because we're a little bit less robust in midfield. And obviously, Adiemi, who was the other young player that we signed, he's developing. I think he'll be a top player. 12 goals, 4 assists in 30 games in the league, 18 in 32 and 11 subs throughout. He got 4 in the Champions League. And yeah, he's still got more potential growth. 5-star, and he's a 3.5-star player. And lastly, youth prospect Pablo Torre. He's a 2.5-star player now, so he will likely play more games next season. And he's still got that 5-star potential. He did play a couple games for us, played 8 in the league, didn't get any goals or assists, but he did get a goal in the cup, which he played 3 games and 2 substitution appearances. Didn't really get a chance in the Champions League, but because I'd made him available for the under-19s because I didn't want him to not be playing football, there was a lot of times where he weren't available to play for us when we could have utilised him. But yeah, next season I'll definitely be looking at using him a bit more, helping him grow. Still 19, still got a lot of development, and I think he will turn into a good player for us. But yeah, that's the end of this season, and I'll see you for next season. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you all then.